Good evening and welcome to the July 2018 meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll start off with prayer and pledge, so if you will, please rise. I'll lead prayer and Stephen will be leading the pledge. Bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for tonight. We ask that you proceed over these proceedings and make sure that everything that is said and done here would be pleasing in your eyes, Lord. We ask that you continue to bless and honor those that are serving to protect us both locally and across the world. We ask that you keep them safe, give them strength, give them courage, peace, Lord. Continue to bless the great city of Smyrna and the state of Tennessee and this wonderful nation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stephen. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. I see none at this time. We'll move to number 4, which is approval or correction of the minutes from June 21st, 2018. You all should have received those in your packet. Hopefully you've had time to review them. Any corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 21st, 2018 as presented.
Motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Meetings are approved. Number 5 is new business. Mitch, I think this is where you get to talk.
This is a special exception to allow an entertainment and amusement service use in a light industrial district at 8014 Safari Drive. The property is zoned I2, which is light industrial, and is approximately 2.58 acres in size. The space is intended to be used as an event center for a maximum of 100 guests per time at a time, but intended for crowds of roughly to 50 to 80 people on average. Events would be held in the evening, primarily after the other businesses have closed in the area. However, these daytime events may occur with smaller groups. Food and beverages services would not be provided by this business, and the clients that are attending the event would be required to hire the outside vendors to come in for their events. Section 7.08060B of the zoning ordinance details requirements for authorizing special exceptions, and they are detailed below. Section 7060 of municipal zoning ordinance lists general requirements for zoning variance request, and these requirements and staff findings are as follows. A conditional use permit special exception shall be provided. The board finds that it A is so designed, located, and proposed to be operated so that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Staff finds proposed use of general business service will not negatively affect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. B will not adversely affect other property in the area in which it is located. Staff finds proposed use should not adversely affect other properties in the surrounding area if available striped parking spaces are not exceeded by the attendees of events. C is within provisions of special exceptions as set forth in this ordinance. Section 5.053.1C lists entertainment and amusement services as a special exception in the I2 district. D conforms to all applicable provisions of this ordinance for the district in which it is to be located, as well as the provisions cited in sections 7.060 and 7.061, and is necessary for public convenience in the location planned. Staff finds the site may be able to conform to all provisions of the municipal zoning ordinance as listed in criteria review section 7.060C. C, criteria for review. Prior to the issuance of a special exception, the board shall make written findings certifying compliance with the specific rules governing individual special exceptions, and that satisfactory provisions and arrangement have been made concerning all the following where applicable. 1. Ingress and egress to the property and proposed structures thereon with particular reference to automotive and pedestrian safety and convenience, traffic flow and control, and access in case of fire or catastrophe. Access to the site will utilize the existing ingress and egress off of Safari Drive and Trident Drive. 2. Off-street parking and loading areas were required with particular attention to the items in item 1 above and the economic noise, vibrations, glare, or odor effects of the special exception on or by adjoining properties and properties generally in or near the district. Staff finds that the lot provides sufficient parking spaces for parking. All attendees must be parking in striped parking spaces. 3. refuse and service areas with particular reference to items 1 and 2 above. The refuse collection will proceed in the same manner as it is currently. For utilities with reference to location availability and compatibility, this location has all the necessary utilities available at the site. Screening and buffering, not applicable in this case. 6, signs, if any, and proposed exterior lighting with reference to glare, traffic, safety, economic effect, and compatibility and harmony with properties in the district. Staff finds proposed entertainment and amusement service use will fit the compatibility with properties in the same district in reference to the above effects. 7, required yard and other open space. Staff finds there is an adequate space on this lot to support entertainment and amusement services in addition to the other services that are present at this site. Applicant has stated that smaller events would be held during the daytime if they are requested due to the other businesses being open at this time and occupying other tenant spaces. 8, general compatibility with adjacent properties and other property in the district. Staff finds that the use may be compatible with adjacent properties as there are other commercial uses present at this site as well. Number 9 is not applicable in this case, and staff would recommend approval of this request.
Thank you, Mitch. Kevin, I assume you got some pictures maybe?
Couple shots. This is the building. As Mitch stated, this is on Safari Drive. Building's faces Safari Drive. It has access from Safari as well as Tridon. It's kind of an industrial, kind of an office warehouse type building. There's kind of a mixture of different uses in there. This is not the first time this building's been before the board for various things in the past. So this is looking at the parking lot, this is from Tridon Drive, looking at the parking area. And then this is more of a straight shot at the specific building at the location. This is actually from Safari. I guess that's the only 2 shots we got. For some
All right.
reason, we just lost it on the screen over there.
Okay.
For some reason. But anyway, that's the only 2 shots we have, I think.
Thank you very much. So at this time, we will close the public hearing and open a public hearing, close the Board of Zoning Appeals and open a public hearing for anyone who would like to speak for or against this request. And if you would like to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address, and tell
My
us
name
where
is
you're-
Becky Lanham, and I am the one requesting this zoning. I'm at 533 Forest Point Drive in Murfreesboro, requesting this for 8014 Safari Drive. This is a business which I have been operating a very similar business for the past 8 years in Murfreesboro. It's a building actually identical to this, but 15 feet shorter, also owned by Swanson Properties, and we have operated very successfully there. We operate nights and weekends majority of the time, and all of the other businesses that are located in this facility are closed by 6 p.m. and don't operate on the weekends. There is a CrossFit that's open till 11 a.m., I believe, on Saturdays. But over the years, it's worked very well for us because that's when the parking is available. We generally don't do any weekday events. If we did, it would be something, where I'm working with the Convention and Visitors Bureau to maybe bring in bus loads of people where they would actually be dropped. But I'm very conscious of the neighbors and parking, and I definitely want to make sure that my customers would have enough parking and that I'm not upsetting my neighbors. And so we've been doing that successfully for 8 years, and I feel that this would be a really good location, and I would love the opportunity to operate in Smyrna and be a part of the Smyrna business community.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Lanham? Ms. Lanham, I have a couple, if you don't mind, step back to the microphone. Can you give me examples? What type of events?
We do mostly weddings, receptions, birthday parties, things like that, smaller scale. What we pride ourselves on is trying to have a very nice, already draped, stringed uplight. So if you were going to rent, just a plain building, normally you have to come in and put all those things into it. And I'm ready to go in and put a lot of money into this building to make it look very nice, where people can come in and afford a very amazingly beautiful event at a very affordable price to them. And so I'm hoping
So you'll
that's what-
provide chairs, tables, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we'll
So
provide all the-
normally you would have to go rent those and rent the facility?
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Yeah, so
excellent.
we do all chairs, tables, linens. We may even offer centerpieces, so you could literally just come in and we can do the rest for you. Just pay us and we'll take care of it for you.
You're not doing the food.
No, we don't
They
do.
have to provide.
Yeah, we would not be doing any food or alcohol.
Care.
Yeah.
So you're just work with catering if that
Yeah, we
happened?
would just partner with some
What if
local
they do
caterers.
request or cater for an open bar? How does that
They
work?
would have to have a licensed liquor caterer that would take
Okay.
care of that. We will not carry any kind of a liquor license.
Okay, perfect.
And did you say you spoke to the owners or the residents that'll be around you for as far as the
Yeah, the
parking is
neighbors.
concerned? Yes.
Yeah, I've talked to both of the next door neighbors, and I think they're excited because we wouldn't be someone in bringing any parking when they're there, you
Yes.
know, so I think that's why they're excited about it.
Yes, so that makes sense.
All right, any other questions, comments? No, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, at this time, we'll close the public hearing, reopen the Board of Zoning Appeals for discussion and motions. I think generally, this use fits pretty nicely there. I like the efforts that Ms. Lanham's taken to make sure that parking's not going to be an issue, and talking to the neighbors. The fact that she already works with Swanson Properties means that her and the landowner already have a relationship, so I think that makes it smooth and easy. So I don't have any issues unless you guys see something I'm not seeing.
I would be curious about the liquor laws, but I don't know that's what we're here to discuss.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, you can probably speak to, I saw you nod your head yes with what she stated. Basically, Miss Lanham wouldn't have any responsibility for any liquor. If someone wanted to bring it, it would have to be a licensed caterer. So basically, they would have to have either a state issued or a local issued license to be able to do anything, right?
Same thing as the town center. If someone has, there's people out there have their certified cards, the ABC cards, and they would go out and do that. So they'd be fine.
Okay, and I know we've even had a few city events where that's happened, so, okay. I think most recently we had the Motlow event that had a bar.
Okay. I'm good.
All right, anything else? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve as requested.
Motion to approve as requested. Any second?
I'll second
I have
that.
a motion and a second. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Thank you, Ms. Lanham. The next item on our agenda is staff comments and/or other. I believe there actually is another tonight.
Yeah, we did have an applicant come by this morning and did request that you all consider her tonight. You would require you to suspend your rules since we didn't have it on your agenda. Hasn't been advertised as normal, like we would normally do. We do have an application and a report for you, if you want to do that. She is here in the audience, and so if you would like to do that, it's for temporary food sales at 1219 Hazelwood Drive here in town is where it's
Okay,
what
so-
the request is.
And that's for this weekend and next weekend?
That's what, yeah, this Saturday and next Saturday, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is it's an exception, it's a special exception or a special request that comes to our board because of the type of service it is. This isn't really a zoning exemption or an easement or something like that. So because of that, I'm inclined to suspend our normal rules and allow it to be heard tonight since she is here and it's represented. But that's a board decision, so if you want a motion that we suspend the rules?
Yeah, I think we've set the precedent, and since the applicant's here to defend it, I think that would be the precedent, is that they must also show up, so.
Okay.
I mean, I would make a motion to suspend the rules to hear the application.
All right, we have a motion to suspend the rules to hear the application tonight. I have a second?
We have a second.
A second. So all those in favor of suspending the rules, please say aye.
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 Aye. And no opposed, so we will hear the request. I assume, Mitch, you'll be representing? Thank you.
We've got the application to give to you, and as well as our staff report.
Thank you.
All right, the applicant has requested a temporary use permit to allow temporary outdoor sales at 1219 Hazelwood Drive. Property is currently zoned C2, which is General Commercial District, and is approximately 1.03 acres in size. Property is currently being used as a gas station, and the property has access to Old Nashville Highway and Hazelwood Drive. Section 7.060B and C of the zoning ordinance detail the requirements for a special exception review. In addition, Section 7.061.13 details specific requirements for this use, and they are detailed below. let's see. 1, all merchandise is located so that all fire codes are being met. 2, the merchandise tents, carts, and trash shall be removed at the end of each day. 3, no cart, trailer, or other vehicle capable of being operated or towed on a public roadway are utilized at the site. And there are additional conditions for the specific use, and they are detailed below. Section 7.061.16, special conditions for temporary outdoor sale of food or retail merchandise. A, approval in writing of the owner of the subject property where the proposed uses be located shall be included with the application. The owner may be the applicant. In this case, the approval of the proposed site has not been provided by the applicant yet at this time. B, the site shall be improved to provide adequate parking as determined by the BZA and shall provide for an on-site turnaround area so that backing onto the street will not be necessary. In the event the proposed location will be on the site of an existing use or structure, the applicant must provide verification that the total site will continue to meet minimum parking requirements established in Article 4 of this ordinance. And adequate parking already exists at this location, so no additional parking will be required. C, traffic control measures may be required by the BZA. These include a requirement that the applicant make provisions for directing traffic during expected peak hours of operation. Staff did not expect this to be a concern at this time. D, tents will be permitted provided that they are erected in conformance with all applicable codes. Any such tents must provide emergency exit remote from the point of entrance into the tent. Tents must be located on a paved concrete or graveled surface, and no event may be erected in a grass area. Tents must be maintained and in good condition. The applicant has not indicated that tents will be used, but if tents are utilized, they must adhere to these above conditions. E, any site must be located so that all parts of the structure and inventory on the site are no more than 500 feet from an operable fire hydrant, and the proposed site is located within 500 foot of a operable fire hydrant. F, a site shall not be approved for a period of more than 14 days at any one time and no more than 28 days for any 12-month period. A deposit to ensure the amount of $400 shall be made with the town of Smyrna to ensure removal of all temporary structures and merchandise. In the event this removal does not occur, the one time specified in the approval permit, the deposit shall not be refunded, and the town of Smyrna will remove the temporary structures and merchandise. The applicant has only provided 2 days, which they will be operating at the site of July 21st and the 28th, 2018. G, adequate provisions shall be made for restroom facilities on the site. In the event the applicant utilizes the restroom facilities of another existing business on site or adjacent to the site, the applicant must adhere to a written agreement from the affected business owner. At this time, a letter has not been provided from the applicant of the business owner that the restroom facilities can be used. H, no permit shall be granted where the site to be utilized is in violation of any building, fire, electrical, and or other codes adopted by the town. There are no permit violations currently at this property. I, adequate provisions shall be made for a solid waste management. If a dumpster is to be located on site, it shall be located in such manner as to minimize impact on adjoining properties or other businesses on the same lot of record. Applicant has not stated what form of waste management will be utilized. There is an existing dumpster on site that may be used for this purpose. J, the BZA may require that additional standards may be met in order to ensure the compatibility of the proposed location with adjoining properties, and staff would not recommend any additional standards, and Lot K is not applicable in this case either. Staff would recommend approval of this request.
Thank you, Mitch. Kevin?
Shots. This is the location, and for some reason we keep losing our connection to the screen, so up to the projector. I don't know what's going on. There we go. We do have this is a picture. This is the location. This is actually kind of from the more the Hazelwood side, looking at it. And then this is kind of more from the other opposite side there. But this is the location there. This is one that's been there for many years. Most folks are probably familiar with it. There at the corner of Hazelwood and Old Nashville Highway. And again, the applicant is here if you have questions of her.
Okay, this location, I know that we've approved or at least had requests in the past for food trucks at this corner. I think we've even had some violations at this corner. in the past.
We did in the past, yeah.
This corner gets used a lot for this type of event, I think. All right, thank you. At this time, we'll suspend the Board of Zoning Appeals and open a public hearing for anyone who would like to speak for or against. I see Ms. Jones, if you'd like to speak, please stand to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hello, my name is Doretha Jones. I live at 204 Cedar Forest Drive, Smyrna, Tennessee, 37617. I do have an approval. The owner didn't come into work till about 5, so that's why I was a little late, because I tried to wait on him to sign this. We had spoke about it about 4 weeks ago, and he told me that I needed to come down to City Hall. I came down on a Friday after you all had the meeting that Thursday evening, so I decided to try it again this month. The reason why I'm doing this, my granddaughter just graduated high school in May of this year, and her and a couple of friends are doing a Florida trip. And also her birthday is next month. I work for Metro Board of Education. I'm a school nutritional manager. I've been doing it for 16 years. So when I'm not working during the summer, I have to do I done a summer program this year, but I only made enough money to take care of home. I'm very proud of my granddaughter. This is my first granddaughter, of her accomplishments, and I just can't tell her that grandmother doesn't have the money for her to go on this trip, so I decided to have her and me out and show her how we earn money responsibly and do a fish fry for her to go on the trip.
Okay, what kind of, can you give me a little bit of information about how you're going to do this? Is this a
I do have
truck-mounted
a-
unit or a trailer, or what? How does this work?
No, I have a tent and tables. I've done this down in Nashville on Saturdays before. Your requirements are different. We just find a vacant lot, ask the owner, can we set up, and they let us do it. So I will have a tent. I will have tables. By me being a nutritionist, I do know that the temperatures I need to keep my fish at. I won't be doing anything other than selling fish sandwiches. The owner of the store if anyone wants to buy drinks or water to assist, to tell them to come in the store, I guess that's how he's going to make his profit from it. And I don't have a problem with that. I'm making this as very simple as possible just by selling fish sandwiches, and I have all the requirements, everything I need for it to be a success.
Okay, you said you got a letter from the owner.
Yes.
Can you give that to one of you guys? I guess check that.
Do you know if the letter, the 3 things that were brought up during the presentation was approval to use the property, which I assume that is, and then it mentioned restrooms and using for waste, like trash, the dumpster. Is
Well,
that written in the letter, approval?
That is, and it was just, and I didn't know exactly what I needed to entail in the letter, so I just asked for permission to park on his property. As for trash, I don't have a problem. I have a pickup truck, so I'll clean up after myself as I normally do when I do these little events in Nashville. The restroom, we didn't discuss that. I'm a regular customer there in his store. I'm there every day, so I don't think it would be a problem with me using the restroom. And I won't have,
Okay.
It's just going to be myself and my granddaughter. We're not going to have a lot
Will
of
you
people.
have tables where people sit down and eat and everything?
No.
Or do you just buy food
No,
and
they're
go?
going to buy a sandwich. We're going to pre-wrap
Okay.
it in foil. I have white paper sacks for them to put in if they like, and they take it on with them.
So
It's-
chances are they won't stop to use the restroom then?
No, no.
Okay. So that was the only thing.
I know where they're going to be. All right, there was one other item related to the waste removal, and since it's not specifically mentioned in the letter, I wanted to make sure and bring it up. Actually, it's talking about temporary structures, so tent, tables, whatever. A deposit in the amount of $400 is required to the town of Smyrna. Are you aware of that, and you're comfortable with that?
I didn't know that, but I'm comfortable with it.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure you highlight that conversation. Any other comments or questions?
Is it the $400? Is that the deposit that she gets back if she cleans up
Yes.
everything?
Yeah, it's refunded.
Are there
If
any-
she does her part.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jeff, what are you fixing to?
I was gonna say, just make sure you're, as part of the ordinance, are you gonna require that she gets the letter from,
Yes.
the owner for the restroom?
Yeah, that's I actually wrote it
just to
down
cover
already.
ourselves. And then,
Yeah, we have the one, give her permission, she has that, but as far as,
Yeah.
basically, that's just the other restroom part of it, yeah.
and then if everything's cleaned up, it sounds like you'll get your deposit 400 back and everything. It's just a deposit in case you leave a lot of trash around and they've got to come clean and things like
And
that.
there was also a requirement that, since you are gonna have a tent, that tent has to be on the pavement or on the gravel, not in the grass, just so you know that. Okay,
In
any,
your hours, when do you expect that you'll be there?
I probably want to start at about 10 or 11 and cut it off probably about 3, or as soon as I run out of fish. I've got 2 blocks of fish that's like 40 pieces a block.
Yeah.
So again, I've never done it here, so I didn't want to overdo it. So I just want to do a trial run to see this Saturday, and that's why I asked for 2 Saturdays. If I do well this Saturday, then I know exactly how much to fish to buy for next Saturday.
understand,
Right, very good.
okay. All right, anything? Nope, all right, well, thank you, ma'am. We'll close the public hearing and reopen the Board of Zoning Appeals for discussion and a motion. To Jeff's point, I had written a note to myself that any motion for approval would need to include, the letter would need to be modified to include restroom usage. She could either bring another letter or have that one modified. Since it's Saturday, it would need to be done by close of business tomorrow. And then as far as the deposit, which is stated in here clearly, I didn't have any other stipulations since she did get the letter for approval to use the property. I didn't see any other stipulations we might need to suggest. Jeff, one question I do have is, for a food truck, we require business license and they have to pay taxes and all that. How does that work in this situation? Or does it matter? It's an individual doing a fundraiser. It's not quite the same.
For those 2 periods, I'm not for sure. I'll have to look into that. I'll ask Ms. Diane tomorrow morning, but for purposes of BZA, I think she's fine, but I'll let her know if there's
I
any
mean,
issues.
generally, we have car washes and stuff like that for
Right.
fundraisers. I assume it falls into that category, so it
Right.
wouldn't apply to those, but I just want to make sure that we're
Right.
asking the right questions. Okay. Anybody else, anything? Anybody feel free to make the motion? You want me to make it?
I make a motion to approve the request on the condition that the applicant provides a letter from the owner for permission to, just in case, for the restrooms and for the use of their dumpster if needed for trash. Does that seem okay, Jeff?
Yes.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I will second.
And also, just to provide that letter by close of business day tomorrow, town's close of business day by tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, she would have to have it to get her thing, so I think you're fine.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we have a motion and a second.
I have a second.
A second. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none opposed. Kevin, anything else under other?
I don't have anything else.
All right, nothing under other. It moves us to the last and most exciting item on our agenda. Have a motion for adjournment
Make a motion to adjourn.
and a second.
And a second.
Never have trouble getting that second. We are adjourned. Thank you.